Chiefs Report here, back to another video, and you know what the routine is. Time for some picks. Let's get into them. Alright, we should be in for a good Thursday night matchup because it's going to be Washington and Philadelphia. This is for first place in the NFC East. Philadelphia, they're coming off just a complete domination of the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, Washington, they lost a tough one to Pittsburgh. It was rough for them, but they can get back on track if they're able to win in Philadelphia. However, I've got the Eagles pulling this one out. Green Bay taking on Chicago. For Chicago, things got bad fast. Yeah, it's not looking good for the Bears right now. They've got to get back on track. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they're coming off a bye, and I've got them pulling out the win. Jacksonville taking on Detroit. For Jacksonville, things are going from bad to worse for them because not only did Trevor Lawrence get hurt, he could possibly be out for the rest of the season. Meanwhile, for Detroit, I don't know how they won Sunday night after Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions, but what this team is doing this year is just amazing. I'm here for it. I've got the Lions. Raiders taking on Miami. For the Raiders, I don't know what more to say. Raiders taking on Miami. Raiders are coming off a bye. That was much needed for this team. They've got to find a way to win some games. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, they're coming off a Monday night victory over the Rams. It was nice for them to get back into the win column. They're hanging on by a thread right now. They really need to go on a run. For this game, just going to go with Miami. Rams taking on the Patriots. For the Patriots, that was a pretty good win against the Bears. I mean, they pretty much got the Bears offense to do just about nothing against their defense, and that's pretty good. That was pretty good for them. Meanwhile, for the Rams, they're coming off a loss on Monday night to the Miami Dolphins. It's just been rough for the Rams, and at times they have sparks of hope, but it's just not enough. I'm going to go with the Patriots. Browns taking on the Saints. The Browns are coming off a bye, which was very much needed for them. Meanwhile, the Saints, they got a much-needed win against the division rival Atlanta Falcons, no less. As for this game, it was hard, but I think this is going to be a game where the biggest stars step up for these two teams. And I say Myles Garrett just has a monster game, and the Browns pull it out. Baltimore taking on Pittsburgh. This is big for 2 reasons. One, this is Pittsburgh's first division game. Wait, how did that happen? 2, whoever wins this game gets sole possession of first place in the AFC North. So both these teams have to be at their A game. And for Baltimore, they could exercise some demons from the past few years because they have lost 7 of the last 8 matchups against the Steelers. Unfortunately, I say it's going to be more of the same. Give me the Steelers. Minnesota taking on the Titans. For the Titans, yeah, it's been a rough year for them. It really has been, and a lot of decisions are going to have to be made in the offseason. And for the Vikings, they got to win after scoring only field goals against the Jaguars. Don't see that too often. As for this game, give me the Vikings. Indianapolis taking on the Jets. For Indianapolis, now I'm questioning how much longer Joe Flacco is going to have the starting job after he threw 3 interceptions against the Bills last week. Meanwhile, for the Jets, yeah, it's been rough. It definitely has been a rough year for them with a team that had expectations going into the season. But if they can put together a run, maybe they can get back into this playoff race. For this game, it's a tough one, but I'm going to go with the Colts. Atlanta taking on Denver. Atlanta coming off a division loss to the Saints. Denver is also coming off a division loss to the Chiefs, and they lost it on a blocked field goal at the end. If they got the field goal, they would have knocked off the undefeated Chiefs. I think they come into this game motivated. I think Bo Nix is going to have a great game, and I'm picking the Broncos over the Falcons. Seattle taking on San Francisco. Seattle's coming off a bye, and San Francisco's coming off a game where Jake Moody struggled trying to convert field goals, but he got the game winner. That's all that matters. As for this game, give me the 49ers. Kansas City taking on the Bills. This might be the game of the week. No, this is the game of the week. Kansas City, they're undefeated, but they've had a lot of close calls throughout the season. That defense is not going to be able to keep it up throughout the entire year. That offense has got to start scoring more points. Meanwhile, for the Bills, their offense is really starting to come together. And Josh Allen, he continues to play great football. Yeah, last week wasn't his best week, but still, for the most part, he's played amazing football throughout the season. There's a reason why they have him as an MVP candidate. Unfortunately, I say the Chiefs remain undefeated. I'm going to say it again. I still have them going 17-0. Cincinnati taking on the Chargers. For the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh is doing exactly what he was brought in to do. Have the Chargers compete. They are in line for a playoff spot if they continue to play like this. And it's not all on the shoulders of Justin Herbert. Their running game has really done good things this year. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they are holding on by a thread. After suffering that Thursday night loss, they really need to get it together, because if they lose more than 2 games, even if they only lose 2 more games, it is going to be tough for them to get a playoff spot. They've got to get a run going. Unfortunately, I'm going with the Chargers over the Bengals. And our Monday night game is going to be Houston taking on Dallas. The Battle of Texas. This should be interesting for a few reasons. One, it's just been a rough season for the Cowboys. It really has been. Dak Prescott is probably out for the rest of the season. And everything that's been going on with this team, just with the injuries, the inconsistent play, it's just been rough on them. And last week against the Eagles, I mean, that might be their lowest point of the season. Meanwhile, for the Texans, they're coming off a tough loss Sunday night against the Lions. They forced 5 interceptions, and they still lost that game. That is not good for a team that had Super Bowl aspirations to start the season. I'm going to go Houston on this one, but really both of these teams, they need to get a run going. Alright guys, those were my picks for Week 10. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.